Hi Ollie, welcome back, and welcome back to part 2 of our townhouse project tour. Come on in. When we took on this project, the client said to us that they really wanted to make this space feel really airy. Again, similar brief to other rooms, but still nicely dressed. So we've just done a few select pieces. There's not a lot of furniture in here, but the pieces that we have done are really special, so I'm going to talk you through them. But first, I would just like to talk to you a little bit about our sponsor of this video, Lily Silk. Lily Silk would make a perfect present at this festive period. For me, silk and cashmere is the best natural fabric, and they make great gifts for family or friends. They offer gift box style packaging and envelope bag packaging. I love this outfit, it's a total classic. I always love a good tailored trouser. The camisole feels really glamorous. You could wear it all day with the cardigan over your shoulders or just wearing it properly. And then if you want to go out for a date night, you just take your cardigan off and become a bit more glamorous. You can update your wardrobe with timeless classic pieces that can be styled into any diverse looks for any purpose throughout your day. This is my go-to work uniform, a cashmere jumper with some tailored trousers. It looks smart, but it's comfortable as well. Use my coupon code to get an extra 12% off, Paterson12, and there will also be lots of discount sales on the website during Black Friday. So definitely check out Lily Silk, and thank you for sponsoring today's video. I can't start without mentioning these beautiful pieces of art that you saw linking from the dining room into the entrance hall. These work so well. Again, this project is really a lot about texture, and these have an incredible texture. All of these tiles are individually made. This piece of art comes from Payne's Grey, and the artist himself is called Carl, and he cuts all the little ceramic discs individually, then he paints them with a slip, fires them, and then it all gets assembled afterwards. So it's a lot of work to create this. It's not like you can just put the tiles and then paint it afterwards, otherwise it would fill in all the gaps. But I think it works so well against the wall finish and all the colours that you've got going throughout the house. So I love those, and it's so nice to have a big statement piece of art. It's the first thing you see as you walk through the front door. The next thing that's worth talking about is these huge oversized lanterns. I mean, the ceiling height you need to have these. I think they're like almost a metre high. It needs to be vast, but what these lanterns do is they really emphasise the ceiling height that we have in here and make it feel even grander. And I also love how they're like quite understated. Again, not about ornate chandeliers in here. It's much more pared back. My vocabulary, by the way, if I repeat myself a lot throughout this film, bear with me because I've had a really long week, and the more tired I am, the less sort of varied vocabulary I get. So they'll probably talk a lot about contemporary, a lot about texture, a lot about pared back. Please forgive me, I do know more than 3 words. I'm just very tired.
And to be fair, we've done a lot of videos.
We've done a lot of videos, but I will try and expand my vocabulary for the next one. I love these little clasps. It almost looks like jewellery, the metal clasp that clasps over the mirror. Again, very pared back. This one we've gone for a clear mirror, and that's important to do in your hallway, that by your entrance door, if you want to just check your appearance before you leave, it's much better to have a clear mirror. Rather than a sideboard, because space is at a premium, I can touch both walls at the same time. The good thing about doing a console table is it makes the space feel still quite airy. You can see underneath it. It feels much bigger, whereas if this was a solid piece of furniture, suddenly the hallway would feel like it was just this width instead. And then we've dressed that very sparingly with a nice little leather box. It's good to have a little box on your console so you can hide like your keys, any bits that you need before you go out, maybe like hand sanitizer, that kind of thing. Some more eucalyptus branches. I love some fresh flowers as you walk in through the house. So this is a space that we envisaged the client putting fresh flowers. This particular client doesn't love faux flowers, so any of the faux planting that you've seen, we've actually brought that ourselves. The client here just wants to have real plants and real flowers, but that's something that we will leave them to do over time.
I can recognise one of those frames there, so.
Oh, have I not mentioned these? Oh, this old thing. Oh, look at this. This, I mean, we designed this. This is from our collection with Addison Ross. I might have spoken about them a little bit in this video. Again, but love it. It just works so well.
This super versatile.
Super versatile. We've spoken about it. The tan colour, I love it. It adds some warmth. Look how nicely it goes with the artwork. I mean, it's just a dream. The little thin bronze frame with a little thin bronze frame. They are amazing. If you're seeing this and they haven't sold out, buy them, because we've got limited stock and we've had department stores. So when we launch a collection, it's quite interesting how this happens. We launch a collection, but before we launch it to the public, we launched it at Maison and Objet, which is a big trade show in Paris. And that was back in September, October, I think October. And their trade buyers get the opportunity to buy the product. So we'd manufactured a set amount with Addison Ross. They kind of anticipated what they thought they would sell in 9 months. At that trade show, a huge chunk of it sold to department stores all over the world. I can't off the top of my head remember, but some amazing names. And if I can find the information out, I'll put it in the description box. If you guys want to go and see these in person, I'll try and share all the retailers that stock them. But if there's still some left online, I don't think they'll last for long. So get in there while you can. And then a little Bamford candle. Again, I've spoken about Bamford so much, they really should sponsor one of my videos. I mean, the amount of content I give them, and they don't even give me a free candle. It's really sad.
If you're listening,
I mean, come
notes.
on. She is my idol though, Lady Bamford. I just love her. Like, if I ever meet her, I'll be a quivering wreck. But in the meantime, I'll just love her candles. And then on either side of the console, we've just flanked that with these amazing leather chairs. I love this. It kind of reminds me of the Bottega Veneta handbag with the woven leather. Again, very sort of pared back, quite slim chairs, you can see through them, but it's the perfect spot just to sit and take your shoes off. And then if you follow me down the hall, I will show you that incredible staircase, and we're passing by this polished plaster. I mean, you can really appreciate the texture here, it's amazing. Before our client bought this house, there was some polished plaster here before, but it was more of like a yellowy hue, and it was your typical shiny polished plaster rather than the texture, but I think the texture looks a lot more sophisticated. We also added this herringbone runner with the bronze rods, again much more pared back than what was here before, and I think it just allows the beauty of the stone staircase and this really ornate balustrade to take centre stage. The lobby room is just off the entrance hall, and it's a space where guests can come. They've got a little cupboard to put their coats away that we've designed, and it's a real circulation space. If they have guests and they're having a party, they would have it in the dining room. There would be some circulation around here. You might have some canapes served on this table, and it's just in between the kitchen and the dining room, so it's the perfect space to entertain your guests and have parties. So let me talk you through this room. What have we done? We've kept the floor and we've polished it just to sort of restore it and make it a bit cleaner. We've obviously retained the incredible original fireplace, which we love, but all the furnishings are new. So starting in this corner, this is a coat cupboard, because in these London townhouses, the entrance hall is always really narrow and long, and there's nowhere to put your coats, your shoes, so it's quite easy for the hallway to look a mess. So what we've done is we've designed this cabinet, and you can see here it's got a hanging rail. We've done it this way, so you can actually hang more coats this way rather than having it run that way. It would have had to be much deeper and it would come into the space too much. But this way you can hang a good sort of 10 coats on here, and then you've got room beneath where you're going to have room for your shoes. For the finishes that we chose here, it's got this lovely panelled effect. These are all real leather panels that are individually wrapped and then put together as a door. And then these handles are Armeria Martin in a beautiful bronze finish. And we've done that in an ebony wood frame, so you get a lovely contrast between the white leather and the dark wood. And then above the fireplace, again, kind of like how we did in the living room, where we had that beautiful marble fireplace with the amazing modern art above from William McClure. Here we've contrasted the Greek key, which is such a classical design element, with this really amazing mirror. I love how it has the space between, so you get to see the wall finish, and it's got a bronze dark colour here with the antique brass on the inner frame, and I think that works really nicely. The sort of geometric pattern ties in with the Greek key on the fireplace. And again, we've just kept the dressing really simple. When you have amazing features like this, don't cover them with lots and lots of stuff. We've just done a really lovely vase. This is a stone vase that works really nice with a stone with a marble place, some fresh hydrangeas for a pop of colour, and a little candle, and that's all it needs. And then over on this side, we've got a little chair. This is a perfect place where you can come, sit down, take your shoes on and off before you put them in the cupboard. A little side table, if they have visitors come visit them and they want somewhere for their guests to wait until they arrive, this is where they'll be waiting. And then we put some beautiful decorative discs that just catch the light. They're metal, so they look petrol blue in some places, they look bronze in other places. And I just love the kind of colour and texture they add and how they contrast against the polished walls, the polished plaster walls. You've got this amazing rug. So when you do an ante-room, and you have a room like this, where there isn't a lot of furniture in the room, you really want to make the rug be a statement. So here what we've done is a combination of silk and wool with this incredible pattern where it goes into a sort of starburst pattern towards the center of the table. And because we didn't want to hide any of that pattern, we've chosen this beautiful contemporary table that's got 3 legs, and then it's clear in the center, so you still get to appreciate all that beautiful detail on the rug. This diffuser, I wish you could smell this. We use these in quite a lot of our projects, and once the diffuser goes into the project, it's almost like that point I'm like, yes, the magic's happening. We've put our stamp on this project. This one is by Rachel Vosper, and it just smells incredible. One of my clients years and years ago, Mira, introduced me to Rachel Vosper, and it always reminds me of that client that's become a friend since, and it's like, it's got happy, nice memories, and our clients love it. Obviously we check with them before what kind of scents they like, but it's nice that you walk into a home and it doesn't just look beautiful, but it smells beautiful too, so we like to add those little touches. As I said earlier, the walls used to be gold. There was some really heavy drapery that covered like a lot of the window. Our client wanted it to feel light and bright. Yes, they're going to entertain here in the evening, but it's also an important part of the house that they're going to see every single day. And they wanted this room to feel much brighter and sort of in keeping with the rest of the ground floor. It feels much brighter, much more contemporary. And I think it allows you to appreciate all the beautiful original features like the cornice, and this amazing fireplace. How incredible is this? Love the marble and this deep burgundy. And then I love all the herringbone bricks that it's got in the middle. This was really the original feature that informed the colour scheme that we wanted to do in here. So we took this deep burgundy, and you can see we've got it echoing onto the back of the chairs. This is an amazing Loro Piana fabric, absolutely beautiful. It feels so soft. And then on the front we've done a de la Cogne linen, which is a bit more practical. And then the table, we've got a marble top table, absolutely enormous. Like, you're gonna have some great dinner parties there. And what's so nice about this is because we've got the width to go much wider, it allows you to do some really fun floral displays. So here we've got some succulents in a pot. And again, it's not what you'd necessarily expect in a dining room, but we wanted to make this feel like it was an impressive grand space, but at the same time not overly formal. We could have quite easily put a really sort of ornate chandelier in here, but the client didn't want that. They wanted something much more cool, much more young. So we've gone for this really pared back chandelier. And if you look closely, it's got this incredible, almost like bubble texture on the top, and it really nicely illuminates the whole of the table. So when that's dimmed down, it gives a really nice pool of light onto the table, and then we can dim all the rest of the lights, and it feels quite moody and dramatic. How cool is this rug? It's almost like a zebra print rug, which I never thought I would do, but somehow it just works in this space. I think with the pattern of the marble, with all the veining and that, and then the painting, which I'm going to show you, it all kind of comes together. Flanking either side of the fireplace and the chimney breast, we have these 2 units, and these are going to be used to store all the clients' crockery, their glasses. You can see they've got a beautiful mirror back, some shelves here where you could put like some, you know, bottles or glasses, cocktail shakers. Really good storage of both of those, so you don't have to worry about mixing your crockery that's for formal dining with your everyday crockery that's in the kitchen. It all gets stored in here. Just to add something slightly more interesting, a conversational piece, we've got this sculpture. It's 2 metal rings on a marble base, and I like how that adds some depth to the fireplace. Like, it feels like it's coming out into the room, which I think is quite cool. And then with the reflection in the mirror, it's definitely eye-catching. So the last piece that I really want to talk about in this room is this incredible painting. Again, we commissioned it from the same artist that did the huge painting upstairs, and he's really absolutely nailed our brief. We wanted something very bold. It brings in all the colours in the room and kind of brings it together. And when you see this one with the art in the hall, there's this amazing angle when you're standing in the ante-room that you can see both of them together, and they're completely different pieces of art, but they work so nicely together. They really relate well. It feels very pleasing to the eye, so I'm really happy with this. And I think We needed something very bold on this wall and very big, because although it's an incredibly large dining room, because our client wanted a really big dining table, if we had a sideboard here, it would have felt quite tight, especially when you have people sat at the table and you might have people serving dinner. You need to make sure there's a lot of circulation space. So this oversized piece of art was the perfect solution to make sure that it doesn't feel empty, it doesn't feel cold, but there's still lots of space to circulate around the room. And then we've combined that with these incredible, almost Art Deco wall lights. It's got a metal section in the front, and then these stepped glass details where all the light sort of glows across. And I think it works really nicely, the step detail in this. It kind of correlates with all the forms that you have in the painting. Right now we're in the lower ground floor in the cinema room, so it's a much darker room, much cozier. It's the kind of space you just want to come and snuggle up on the sofa and watch a good movie. The client's brief in here was that they wanted the largest possible sofa that we could do. So as you see on that side, we've got no side table whatsoever, and that was so we could put some extra seating on the sofa. This is really the main piece of furniture. And then in the middle, we've done another vegan leather ottoman. So again, you can put your feet up on it. It's dressed as a coffee table. And in terms of all the paneling, we actually inherited this from the previous owner and we loved it. And we really wanted to incorporate it into the furnishings. So we brought that strong color into the room through the cushions, accessories like the photo frame, and of course the ottoman itself. The color scheme that we've gone for in here is a combination of those warm tan colors with some greens, because it's just off the garden, so there's lots of greenery outside, and we really wanted to bring the outside in. And ways that we've brought some of that green into the room is through the cushion, through the bench on the other side of the room, and the artwork. This is a beautiful piece of art by Bianca Smith, and we commissioned it from her, again, to work with all the colours, and I think it works so nicely against the panelling. All the angular details in it work really nicely with the stitching of the panels on the wall, and the lighting that's coming from behind the sofa illuminates it beautifully. For the rug, we wanted to go for a slightly more relaxed feel, but again have a bit more pattern in here. Because the walls are quite interesting, we need something that can kind of hold its own against them. So we've gone for a Berber rug, which is a different look for us. It's a lot more rustic, but I love how it adds a kind of more laid back feel into this room, which otherwise feels very tailored. It almost feels like you're on a yacht. So in terms of the dressing of the sofa, we've done lots of custom cushions. All of these were made custom for this sofa. And we've put one of our boucle grey throws from the Co's collection, which brings some of the darker colours in the painting and the wall lights down onto the sofa. And then over on this side, this is the beautiful bench that we've got. And again, it's all about creating seating on three sides of the room, but where the TV is on this side of the room, we didn't want to have anything with a high back. So if you're lying on the sofa watching a movie, you can still see across this bench onto the TV. And similarly to how I upholstered the small benches in the living room, the formal sitting room with a pattern, we've gone for the same approach with this bench, something a little bit more playful, a little bit more interesting. Because it's a smaller piece of upholstery, you can be a little bit bolder. Then lastly in this corner, we've got a nest of tables. These work so well for a sitting room, so if you do want to pull one over, you're having some snacks and you want to be able to reach things, you can take the smaller of the nest tables. And we've dressed that with another faux plant. A lot of my faux plants are from Wildwood. My sister is a florist, and it's got this really lovely textured pot. And then another frame from our Addison Ross collection. And that's the cinema room. We're in another one of the children's bedrooms, and this place has completely transformed. Previously it had built-in bunk beds, it didn't have enough storage, so we've added lots of storage. We have done this wall of wardrobes here. I love the finish that we've gone for here. It's a grass cloth combined with that light stained oak that we do on lots of our projects. And then this central section is timber, so it's really practical. So where you're likely to touch the wardrobe door, where the handles are, that's protected by the wood rather than touching the wall covering. We've done a built-in desk / dressing table, again with the coordinating wood, but then we've done a contrast for the shelves just to mix it up a bit so it doesn't feel too repetitive. The mirror is from our Armac Martin collection. I'll link that in the description box. And then we've accessorised that with some baskets and books and photo frames. And then for the bed itself, again, we wanted to really make the most of every inch of space in here. This is London, so space is at a real premium. There was a really small alcove there, which we have installed some shelving in, and it's got a really nice textured fluted back, just again to add more interest, more pattern. And I think it works really nicely against the wall covering that has these horizontal lines. It's a nice break to have the vertical lines in the fluting. We've again tried to mix it up and not make it too repetitive. So it's all about balance. You don't always have to do symmetry to have something feel balanced. Where we've got the shelving on that side, we've just installed a piece of art on this side of the wall to fill in that space that you would have that would otherwise feel quite unbalanced. For the bedside table lamps, we've gone for a pleated shade. Again, it's about having those lines that go through. There's a very subtle thread that runs throughout all the furnishings and all the accessories. And then we've mixed up the colour scheme with some brown cushions, this pop of bright green, and a nice textured boucle throw at the end here. Let's talk about wardrobes. This is the second run of wardrobes that we installed, so we also had the wardrobes next to the desk. Loads of storage in here. It's got integrated lighting as well, so you can see all your clothes when you want to get dressed at night time. Even this little integrated LED light by the drawer, which I love. And then for the finish, we don't use a solid veneer inside. This is a xylocleaf, which is like a sort of, almost like a photograph of the finish. But we match the colour as closely as possible. And I tend to go for quite light colour interiors so that it doesn't look too dark and you can really see everything that's inside. And then last thing to talk about is this huge light that I will go under. I love how it curves up and over the chair, so it provides some nice reading light if you're reading a book or a magazine. And then we've got some really fun 3D art. I don't know what these are. I think they're like little paper cups on a linen background with a Perspex case, and it just fills the space so nicely. So this is my favourite piece in the room, this huge swivel love seat. I mean, it's just so comfortable for sitting on and relaxing, which I think I'm going to do now because it's been a really long day. As you can tell, we've been here all day. We got here in the morning, it's now night time. We've still got lots more to shoot. We've got the dining room, entrance hall, ante room, so it's going to be a really long day. And this is just the perfect place to relax.
For all those people out there who are wanting to become interior designers, this is as real as it gets.
This is, do you know what, I'm not even showing you the real. There's like so much going on behind the scenes. So just to give you a tiny like slice of reality, while we're filming this, we also have a photo shoot going on with Raymain. There's me, Anthony, Brett and Mark from my team. We're also overseeing the installation. All the builders have now gone, but there's some more snagging that has to happen tomorrow. We've had cleaners that we've been coordinating. We're also installing a project in Portugal this week at the same time because the deadlines kind of clashed and we had to just do both at the same time. So we've divided our team. Some of our team are over there, some are in the office, some are here. So we're over WhatsApp also coordinating the installation of the furniture there, telling the designers where certain pieces go. And at the same time, liaising with clients, answering emails, promoting collections. Like, my brain is literally gonna explode. So guys, that's a wrap. I hope you've enjoyed this house tour. It's an incredible project. We're so happy that the client trusted us with their home and we hope they love it. And I hope you guys love looking around, but you guys have got to go. We're flying to Portugal tomorrow to install another project. Got to catch a flight, pack a suitcase. I'll see you soon.